Look, let me tell you something very clearly. As someone who's been in these markets for 20 years, what keeps you poor isn't some big, obvious mistake. It's the exact opposite. It's those 11 dangerous habits that have crept into your life. Ones so small, you think of them as normal. I've seen these in thousands of people, and looking back, I lived through every single one of them myself.
First, if you take your paycheck and spend it on bills, rent, credit cards, and your social life first, then try to save whatever's left over, you've already lost before you started. Because there is no such thing as what's left over. I make putting money into my portfolio the very first thing I do on payday. I set up an automatic transfer, and the money leaves my account before I even see it. You're going to do exactly the same. Second, never fool yourself by saying, I caught a sale, I made a profit. Because the $60 you paid for a pair of shoes that was 40% off is still real cash leaving your pocket. Stores do this deliberately to trigger your fear of missing out, your FOMO. The real profit is the money you never spent in the first place and still have in your pocket. Third, every morning when I sit down at my desk, the first thing I look at are the numbers. So you're going to do the same. Write down every single cent that comes in and goes out for one full month without skipping anything. Because you can never manage a position you can't measure. Someone who lives without tracking their spending is no different from a rookie trader who opens trades without ever looking at a chart. And that road always ends in the same disaster. Fourth, every time you get a raise and immediately upgrade your car, your house, or your lifestyle, it means you never actually got that raise at all. For years, as I earned more, I grew my portfolio, not my standard of living.
Because constantly rising expenses keep you financially stuck in the exact same spot. Only the numbers grow. You don't. Fifth, if you're using your credit card with the comfortable mindset of, I'll pay it later, know that you're feeding the bank over 20% annual interest. In this market, no professional investor ever risks more than the cash they actually have. So you're going to completely stop spending money you don't have in your pocket. The rule is simple. If you can't pay for it in cash right now, you can't afford it.
Sixth, if the things you bought saying, I'll definitely start working out, I'll definitely read these books, are just sitting in your closet gathering dust, you're actually investing in some imaginary version of yourself, not in who you really are today. Real transformation never comes from a shopping spree. It only comes from action. Seventh, if you can't say no to every invitation and keep trying to keep up with your friends, know this. In this market, just like in life, anyone who's constantly seeking everyone's approval ends up in the red at the end of the day. I learned this years ago. Your real friends will understand. The ones who pressure you are just an unnecessary expense on your budget. Eighth, if you're telling yourself, I'll start investing once I earn more, that's the biggest lie you'll ever tell yourself. Because someone who can't build financial discipline with a little money will absolutely go broke once a lot of money lands in their hands. I opened my very first position in life with just a few coins in my pocket.
Because it's your habits that manage money, not the money itself that gives you habits. Ninth, every small expense you brush off with, what's $5 going to do, actually adds up to thousands of dollars by the end of the year. In the market, too, traders who ignore small commissions never understand where their capital disappeared to by year's end. And that's exactly how you're losing yourself in life as well. 10th, if you keep postponing investing with, I'll do it when the time is right, know that the biggest ally of compound interest in this world is time. The gap between someone who starts investing at 25 versus someone who starts at 35 looks like just 10 years. But 30 years later, one of them ends up with exactly double the money of the other. The market is never perfectly right. Whenever you take the step, that becomes the right time.
11th, and in my opinion, the most critical one. If you're not investing in your financial literacy, in what's inside your own head, your failure is guaranteed from the start. Because ignorant money always loses to informed money. I didn't read all those books for nothing. I spent countless nights studying charts, made hundreds of mistakes, and learned something from every single one. You too will never make it to the winning side without curiosity, without learning the rules of the game. In the end, there's one naked truth underneath all of this. You do these bad habits because they feel completely normal to you, because that's all you've ever seen from everyone around you. But remember, being normal in society doesn't mean what you're doing is financially correct. I'm telling you all this because I made every single one of these mistakes myself and paid the heaviest price for them. You don't have to walk that same painful road or pay those same costs. Whichever of these habits you recognized in yourself today, start with that one right now and take a small step. Because in the markets, just like in life, the winners are never the ones who started perfectly. They're simply the ones who started right away, no matter what.